Chosen one. You are not here by coincidence. Your spirit was led to this moment by divine appointment, perfectly timed for what heaven is unlocking in your life. Even now, you are standing at the threshold of a supernatural shift, a divine transfer that has been forming in the unseen. What you are about to hear is not information. It is confirmation. The oil on your life is stirring, and the heavens are aligning on your behalf. As it is written, "Behold, I am doing a new thing." Chosen one, prepare your spirit. What is coming next is for you. Chosen one, as you hear these words, something deep within you is already awakening. This stirring you feel is not random. It is remembrance. It is your spirit recognizing the truth of who you have always been, even before life tried to bury it beneath pain, expectations, and survival. You are not merely listening to a message, you are being reintroduced to your own identity. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when heaven gently places a mirror before them, not the mirror of the world, but the mirror of destiny. And in that reflection, you no longer see weakness, confusion, or tiredness. You see the warrior you forgot you were. You see the anointing that has been growing in silence. You see the marks heaven placed upon your life long before you understood them. Today is one of those moments. Mark 1 begins here. She carries a scar that became a sword. Chosen one. There is a strength inside you that textbooks can't teach and mentors can't transfer. It is not something you learned. It is something you survived. Your strength was forged, not gifted. It was shaped in long nights where tears soaked the pillow. It was carved through heartbreaks you didn't deserve. It was pressed into you during seasons when you were surrounded by people yet felt completely alone. I know what it feels like to walk through fire you never asked for. I know what it means to smile in public with a heart breaking in private. Maybe you've had to act strong for people who never checked if you were okay. Maybe you've carried burdens that would have crushed anyone else, yet here you are, listening to this, breathing, rising, becoming. This is why I tell you with confidence, your scar is not your shame. It is your strategy. The world sees your endurance and calls it resilience. Heaven sees your endurance and calls it weaponry. Because the pain that once tore you apart, the betrayal that almost broke you, the disappointment that left you breathless, all of it became the very edge that now slices through darkness every time you speak, pray, choose peace, or refuse to quit. I've lived this myself. There were moments I thought the hurt would swallow me whole. Moments when I thought I had nothing left to give. But hindsight revealed something sacred. Every wound that threatened to destroy me ended up becoming the gateway to deeper wisdom, deeper compassion, deeper fire. I didn't just heal, I transformed. And chosen one, the same is happening within you. You didn't go through the fire. You became fireproof. You didn't walk through the valley. You became the storm the valley feared. The nights that broke you also built you. The people who underestimated you also became the reason you discovered your worth. The losses that shook you also pushed you into divine alignment. This is why heaven trusts you with more. Your scars are not symbols of defeat. They are proof of divine promotion. They are the fingerprints of both suffering and survival. They are the reason your voice carries authority, your presence carries weight, and your spirit carries fire. Others talk about overcoming. You embody it. This is why Ruth's story resonates with the chosen ones. Like her, you have walked through seasons where everything familiar fell apart. You had to leave versions of yourself behind. You had to walk into territory that didn't make sense. You had to trust God without clarity. But even in foreign fields, heaven had eyes on you. Even in empty moments, you were being positioned. Even when you felt unseen, destiny was watching. Ruth wasn't chosen because of her past. She was chosen because of her heart. And so are you. Chosen one, listen closely. You don't wear your scars, you wield them. You don't carry your story, you use it. You don't walk as the wounded, you walk as the weapon. The woman who worships while wounded is the most dangerous force in the spiritual realm. Because her praise is not casual, it is costly. Her voice doesn't rise from comfort, it rises from conquest. Her walk isn't soft, it is sharpened. And that is why hell fears her. You have lived through things that should have broken you, yet here you are, stronger, wiser, sharper, standing in a strength even you can't explain. That is the mark. That is the evidence. That is heaven's seal upon your life. But chosen one strength is only the first mark. After fire comes longing. After survival comes awakening. After pain comes purpose. And now the next sacred mark begins to rise in you, a mark that is quieter, but just as powerful, one that chosen women often mistake for confusion, but is actually divine calling. Mark 2 waits ahead. Chosen one, after heaven forges your first mark in the fire, it does something unexpected. It disrupts your comfort. It stirs your spirit. It whispers to you in moments where everything looks fine on the outside, yet something inside feels unsettled, stretched, restless. This is Mark 2, divine discontent. Chosen one. Not every battle in your life looked like pain. Some battles looked like blessings. Some warfare came disguised as comfort. Some spiritual awakenings came wrapped in dissatisfaction with the very things you once prayed for. And at first, it feels confusing. You look around and see that your life isn't falling apart. You may even have more stability than before. People think you should be happy, grateful, content, and you are. But there is a tug inside you that won't let you settle. There is a whisper that won't let you sleep. There is an ache that rises even in good seasons. I know that feeling deeply. I've lived in seasons where everything made sense on paper, the job, the relationship, the routine, the security, but my soul kept saying, something here is too small for who you are becoming. And I remember thinking, why can't I just be satisfied? Why can't I be like everyone else and relax into a normal life? But chosen one, you and I were never designed for normal. Your spirit knows when you've outgrown a season, even before your mind accepts it. Your soul knows when heaven is calling you higher, even when your life still looks blessed. Divine discontent is not a flaw, it is a signal. It is heaven's way of telling you, daughter, I'm shifting your assignment. Prepare. Not everyone understands this mark. People see a strong, capable woman who has everything together. They don't realize that the unease inside you is spiritual, not emotional. That the agitation is destiny, not dissatisfaction. That the longing you feel is not for a new environment, but for a new elevation. A chosen woman becomes restless when the grace has lifted. She senses when a chapter is closing before the door even creaks. She feels the shift before anything physically changes. Her spirit starts to itch, as if something invisible is pulling her forward. Have you felt that lately, chosen one? That strange tension, that silent knowing that a part of your story has expired, even if nothing dramatic happened, that is the mark. Think of Nehemiah. He was surrounded by luxury, stability, honor, yet something inside him broke when he heard the walls of Jerusalem were ruined. He couldn't ignore what others overlooked. His spirit refused to stay silent in the face of destiny. That is divine discontent. It ruins you for mediocrity. It burdens you for what heaven is building through you. Or Deborah, a prophetess who could have stayed seated in wisdom under her palm tree, offering counsel from the sidelines. But when the moment shifted, when destiny demanded courage, she rose. Because chosen women can feel when heaven is moving. They rise without hesitation, without apology, without delay. Chosen one. When heaven is calling you upward, comfort becomes uncomfortable. What once felt like home now feels like a holding place. The environments you once enjoyed begin to feel too small for your anointing. Conversations that once inspired you start draining you. Activities that once entertained you feel meaningless. You begin to lose interest in things that kept you busy but not aligned. This is not a crisis. This is elevation. I've lived this too. I remember seasons where everything seemed stable, yet my spirit felt like it was pacing back and forth inside my chest. I tried to silence it. I tried to convince myself that I should be grateful and settled. But the truth was, my spirit was preparing for a shift before I even knew one was coming. And looking back, that internal stirring was the first sign of transition. Chosen. One divine discontent is not rebellion, it is revelation. It is heaven's whisper saying, you were not made to nest, you were made to soar. This stirring is part of your preparation. God is aligning you for a divine transfer, spiritually, emotionally, and yes, even financially. Many of your breakthroughs begin with this internal shaking. Because before heaven expands your life, it expands your spirit. Before God opens a door, He opens your hunger. Before He elevates you, He detaches you from places you've outgrown. The enemy tries to twist this feeling and tell you you're ungrateful or inconsistent. But the truth is, you are being led. Your discomfort is direction. Chosen one. Pay attention to where your spirit feels swollen. Pay attention to the places where your grace is thinning. Pay attention to the environments where you feel spiritually cramped. These are signs, holy signs. Signs that heaven is preparing you for the next mark, a mark most women carry, silently unaware of its power. Because after divine discontent comes something even deeper. A mark that turns your heart into heaven's microphone. Mark 3 waits for you. Chosen one. Once heaven stirs divine discontent within you, it opens a deeper, quieter realm that only those truly marked can understand. This realm carries the third hidden mark, a mark not worn on the skin, but carved into the spirit. It is the mark of holy sensitivity, the unexplainable ability to feel what others cannot feel, to sense what others cannot name, and to perceive what the natural world cannot explain. Many women brush this off as being too emotional, too dramatic, or too sensitive, yet they fail to see the divine purpose behind such depth. But you anointed one are beginning to understand. You are not fragile. You are spiritually attuned. This sensitivity is not something you learned. It is something heaven entrusted to you. While others navigate life by logic, you navigate by spirit. You walk into a room and immediately feel the undercurrent of someone's pain. You sit next to someone, and even without words, you sense their disappointment, their grief, their fear. You stand in a family, a workplace, a friendship circle, and you are the one who feels the emotional temperature shifting before anyone else even notices the atmosphere has changed. You don't just see situations, you discern them. And for most of your life, chosen one, this sensitivity made you feel different. You felt overwhelmed by emotions you couldn't locate the origin of. You found yourself crying at night, not because of your own wounds, but because you were carrying the unspoken heaviness of others. You felt sorrow that didn't belong to you, spiritual dullness that wasn't your own anxiety, that suddenly rose like a tide with no clear source. You may have even wondered whether you were unstable or overreacting. But hear this truth with clarity: your tears are not weakness, they are language. They speak to heaven even when your mouth is silent. Your emotions are prophetic instruments. Your heart is a vessel that God uses to intercept unseen battles. You are not overwhelmed because you are weak. You are overwhelmed because heaven trusts you with what others cannot carry. Chosen one. I have walked this path myself. There were seasons when I would wake up weighted by emotions that felt foreign to my own life, as though I was carrying grief that wasn't mine. I would be sitting in a quiet place and suddenly feel someone else's fear pressing against my spirit. At first, I believed something within me was broken, but with time the Holy Spirit whispered something that shifted everything. You are feeling what others cannot feel, so you can pray what others cannot pray. That revelation changed me, and I believe it is now finding you. Your sensitivity is a divine assignment. It is evidence that you walk closely with God. Heaven gives this depth only to those it can trust in the hidden places. You are not simply emotional, you are entrusted. Your heart is an altar. Your tears are intercession. Your intuition is alignment. The chosen woman feels storms before the clouds even form. She senses betrayal before the words are spoken. She recognizes spiritual warfare before the attack becomes visible. She touches the heart of God because her own heart is tender enough to feel what He feels for others. That depth is not common. That compassion is not accidental. It is the mark of someone chosen to stand in the gap. And yes, this mark can feel exhausting. You may carry burdens no one acknowledges. You may feel drained after conversations that seemed normal to everyone else. You may be the strong one who cares deeply but receives little care in return. You may even withdraw at times, not because you're antisocial, but because your spirit becomes overwhelmed by the noise of the world. But even in that exhaustion, heaven sees you. Heaven honors you. Heaven strengthens you. For this sensitivity is the signature of someone called to spiritual influence, not through force, not through authority, but through compassion. It is the mark of a woman who shifts atmospheres through her presence alone. Chosen one. You are not too much. You are not dramatic. You are not overly emotional. You are spiritually awake in a world that is spiritually numb. Your heart was crafted to feel deeply because heaven designed you to intercede deeply. Your tears move things in the unseen realm. Your compassion battles darkness. Your intuition exposes hidden attacks. Your sensitivity is not a liability, it is your divine advantage. This is your mark. This is your mantle. This is your calling. And once you understand it, you begin to carry it with reverence, not shame. Because heaven chose you for what others could not handle, and this holy sensitivity will shape the next evolution of your purpose. Chosen one, as heaven sharpens your sensitivity and awakens compassion within you, another mark begins to rise, one that often hurts the most, yet reveals the greatest truth about who you are. This is the mark of unprovoked attacks, a sign that your calling carries weight in the unseen realm. Many women think they did something wrong when people turn against them without reason. They question themselves when relationships suddenly shift, when friends withdraw, when slander appears out of nowhere, or when peace is disrupted by conflicts they never invited. But you, anointed one, are learning that these attacks are not personal, they are prophetic. From the moment you began stepping into your identity, the spiritual realm took notice. Heaven marked you. Hell noticed the mark. And every attack that seemed random was actually recognition proof that you carry something powerful enough to threaten darkness. You may not feel powerful, you may not even think of yourself as extraordinary, but the enemy does because he can see what is on your life long before you see it for yourself. Attacks rarely appear when life is quiet or when destiny is stagnant. They appear when oil is rising. They appear when purpose begins to activate. They appear when the anointed one begins to walk differently, think differently, and respond differently. That is why, chosen one, so many battles in your life intensified the moment you started healing, growing, praying, or shifting your focus. Hell never fights someone who poses no threat. Think about your own journey. Remember those seasons when everything felt like warfare, not because you were doing wrong, but because you were doing right. You were elevating, you were aligning, you were awakening. Suddenly, people you trusted misunderstood your intentions, relationships strained without explanation. Opportunities collapsed at the last moment. You faced gossip, jealousy, isolation, and conflict that made no sense. You questioned, why me? Why now? What did I do? But chosen one, hear this with clarity. Your warfare is not punishment. It is confirmation. You are attacked because you carry influence. You are targeted because you carry destiny. You are resisted because you carry revelation. And the brighter your light becomes, the more it irritates the darkness around you. There were times in my own life when betrayal felt like a storm I didn't deserve. People I poured into suddenly turned cold. Conversations twisted into things I never said. Smiles hid intentions I couldn't see. And I wondered, why does this always happen right when I try to step into something better? It took years for me to realize that every unprovoked attack was a spiritual announcement. Something in me was growing, and something in hell felt threatened. Chosen one. The same is true for you. You have survived attacks that were designed to break your spirit long before you understood your worth. You endured conflict that was meant to silence you before your voice found its purpose. You faced opposition that was orchestrated to destroy what God was building within you. But instead of collapsing, you adapted. Instead of shrinking, you deepened. Instead of losing faith, you grew roots. This is what chosen women do. They turn battles into blueprints. They turn wounds into wisdom. They turn pressure into oil. And here is a truth you must hold tightly: unprovoked attacks are always a sign that elevation is near. When warfare intensifies, your spirit is being positioned. When betrayal strikes, your discernment is being sharpened. When isolation occurs, heaven is clearing your atmosphere. Not all losses are losses. Some are divine subtractions. Some are merciful protections. Chosen one. There is a reason your spirit has survived what would have destroyed others. You are not ordinary. You are not random. Your life carries generational weight. Your presence interrupts cycles. Your obedience shakes systems. That is why the enemy tried to crush you before you even understood your calling. He saw the mark on your life before you did. And this is where your strength truly shows itself. When others retreat at the first sign of resistance, you rise. You rise with fire in your bones and purpose in your stride. You rise because the God who formed you hardened you for battle long before the battle arrived. You rise because spiritual warfare activates something ancient, something divine, something undefeated inside you. Chosen one. The attacks are not signs of weakness. They are signs of oil. They are signs that breakthrough is near. They are signs that heaven is shifting you into a higher realm of influence. Every arrow aimed at you is proof of the crown you carry. Every lie spoken about you is proof of the truth you carry. Every storm sent against you is proof of the power you carry. You were not built to blend in. You were not designed to shrink. You were not created to apologize for the fire on your life. You were born to break through. You were shaped to overcome. You were chosen to rise. And now that you understand this mark, now that you see your attacks for what they truly are, another revelation begins to emerge, one that pierces even deeper into your spirit. Because the next mark is not about battle, it is about being unseen, misunderstood, and set apart, chosen. One after the battles, after the unprovoked attacks, and after the seasons where darkness tried to break you before you fully understood who you were, another mark begins to reveal itself, one of the most painful, most confusing, yet most sacred of them all. It is the mark of isolation and being misunderstood. It is the quiet ache of being surrounded yet unseen, loved yet not fully known, present yet strangely disconnected from the world around you. This mark often emerges not during your weakest seasons, but during your holiest ones. The closer you move toward purpose, the fewer people can walk with you. The more heaven reveals to you, the harder it becomes for others to understand you. The more your spirit awakens, the more your circle shifts, not because you have changed for the worse, but because you are evolving into someone your old environments were never built to hold. Chosen one, you know this feeling well, sitting in a room full of people and still feeling alone. Speaking truth only to have it misunderstood, setting boundaries to protect your peace only to be labeled cold or distant, walking with clarity while others accuse you of being too much, too intense, or too sensitive. These misunderstandings are not reflections of your inadequacy. They are reflections of your calling. There is a spiritual cost to carrying revelation. There is a loneliness tied to vision. There is an emotional stretch that comes when your spirit grows faster than the world around you. And while the world interprets your growth as distance, heaven calls it separation for elevation. I've lived through this too. There were seasons when people I loved dearly could no longer understand me. Conversations that once flowed easily suddenly felt heavy, shallow, or draining. The more I grew spiritually, the more tension I felt with those who preferred comfort over transformation. At first, I questioned myself, wondering if I was the problem. But eventually, I realized that God wasn't punishing me. He was repositioning me. He was removing voices that would interfere with the clarity He wanted to give me. He was pulling me away from noise so I could hear His whisper. Chosen one. Isolation is not proof of abandonment. It is proof of preparation. When God hides you, it is never rejection, it is incubation. It is the place where He forms the version of you that must emerge next. It is the quiet workshop where He reshapes your thoughts, heals your wounds, and builds your endurance for what you are about to carry. Think of the wilderness moments in your life, the job you didn't get, the friendship that faded, the door that never opened, the people who drifted away without explanation. At the time, it felt like loss, but heaven saw it differently. Heaven saw protection. Heaven saw refinement. Heaven saw your spirit needing space to grow without interference. Chosen. One, solitude is not punishment. It is an invitation. It is the sacred space where God meets His chosen daughters. Hagar found God in the wilderness, not in comfort. Elijah heard God in the cave, not in the crowd. David was shaped in the fields, not at the feast. Over and over, Scripture shows us that the most chosen are often the most hidden, until the moment heaven says, "Now." And that is what is happening to you. Heaven is clearing distractions, removing counterfeits, detaching you from the familiar, and pulling you into deeper alignment. The misunderstanding you've endured is not random. It is a spiritual indicator that God is upgrading your assignment. People cannot understand what they were not called to carry. You are speaking the language of destiny in rooms built for survival. You are dreaming on a level meant for builders, while others are content being bystanders. Of course, they won't understand you. Of course, they won't comprehend your sensitivity, your intuition, your depth, your urgency. Chosen women are rarely understood by the world because they were never sent to fit into it. They were sent to shift it. And even though this mark brings discomfort, it also brings power. It sharpens your discernment. It forces you deeper into God. It teaches you that peace is found in presence, not people. It builds a spiritual confidence that no validation can provide. And it prepares you for the next chapter, the chapter where God reveals why He separated you the way He did. Chosen one, you are not invisible. You are being preserved. You are not alone. You are being aligned. You are not misunderstood because you lack clarity. You are misunderstood because you carry a clarity others have not yet awakened to. Your isolation is not the end of your story. It is the birthplace of your transformation. Chosen one. Once you have walked through misunderstanding, once you have endured seasons where isolation pressed against your soul, another hidden mark begins to surface, a mark so quiet, so unseen, that many chosen women never realize they carry it until heaven reveals it. This is the mark of growing in the dark. Growing in the dark is not glamorous. It is not applauded. It is not visible to the world. It is the kind of growth that happens in silence, in secret, in stillness. It is the transformation that takes root far beneath the surface, long before anyone sees the fruit. And yet, this growth is the most powerful kind, because it is the kind that cannot be undone by storms or shaken by pressure. Chosen one. You know what it feels like to labor without recognition. To pour out love, strength, effort, and sacrifice in places where no one applauds, no one praises, no one even notices. You know what it feels like to show up for people who would never show up for you, to carry responsibilities quietly, to endure battles privately, to keep moving forward when no one sees the tears you wipe from your face at night. But here is the truth. Heaven wants you to hear. You have not been buried, chosen one. You have been planted. There is a holy difference. A buried thing is meant to be forgotten. A planted thing is meant to rise. When God plants a chosen woman, He hides her for a season. He tucks her away where the world cannot see her. Progress cannot interfere with her development, cannot contaminate her promise. And in those hidden places, roots deepen. Identity strengthens, faith expands, purpose aligns. You think nothing is happening, but everything is happening. I know what it feels like to serve in silence. There were years where I prayed quietly, helped quietly, healed quietly, and wondered whether any of it mattered. I watched others flourish publicly while I grew privately. And many nights I questioned whether my season of obscurity was punishment. But over time, God made something clear. The greatest promotion begins in the dark. Before God reveals you, He grounds you. Before He elevates you, He establishes you. Before He gives you influence, He gives you depth. Chosen one, that is what He is doing with you. The dark season you've endured was not a delay. It was a design. Heaven was preparing you for a harvest that required strong roots. Heaven was strengthening your spirit for responsibilities that demand emotional maturity and spiritual clarity. Heaven was shaping you into a woman who can sustain blessing without breaking under it. The truth is, the dark seasons teach you things the light never will. They teach you how to listen. They teach you how to discern. They teach you how to depend on God alone. They teach you how to recognize His voice without the noise of the world. They teach you how to stay faithful even when no one is watching. Chosen one. The silent seasons reveal your truest strength. Think about the quiet nights you pushed through exhaustion and still whispered, "God, I trust you." Think about the mornings you rose, even though your heart felt heavy. Think about the days you spoke life over yourself, even when no one else encouraged you. These moments were not small, they were sacred. They were seeds. And seeds do their greatest work underground. Your prayers in secret were heard. Your sacrifices in silence were seen. Your resilience in shadow was recorded in heaven. Nothing you endured was wasted. You may not have realized it, but every hidden moment shaped the woman you are becoming, stable, rooted, unshakable. Chosen one. Your dark season is coming to an end. The soil is breaking, the ground is shifting, the roots have done their job, and heaven is preparing to bring you into a season where others will finally see what God has been building within you all along. It won't be sudden to God, but it will look sudden to everyone else. They will call it a miracle, but you will know it was a process. A holy process. A dark to light process. You are not stepping into visibility because you chased it. You are stepping into visibility because you were faithful in obscurity. Chosen one. Everything you endured in the dark was preparation for what God is about to reveal in the light. Chosen one. After growing in the dark, there comes a final mark, a mark that does not shout, does not seek attention, and does not depend on circumstances to exist. It is the mark that reveals a woman who has walked through fire and refused to lose herself. It is the mark that heaven celebrates and hell fears. It is unshakable joy in dry places. This joy is not surface-level happiness. It is not the kind that rises when life is good and disappears when life is hard. This is holy joy, the kind that remains steady when everything around you looks uncertain. It is the kind of joy that whispers, "It is well with my soul," even when nothing feels well externally. It is the kind of joy that refuses to bow to fear, lack, loneliness, or delay. Chosen one. You know this joy. You have tasted it in moments when it made no logical sense to still be standing still, be hoping, still be praising. You have carried it in times when people expected you to break, to collapse, to surrender, to despair, but instead you held on to God with quiet strength. This joy is your inheritance. It is your spiritual armor. It is your soul's anchor. You see, unshakable joy is born in pressure. It emerges when every natural reason to despair is present, yet somehow your spirit chooses gratitude, chooses faith, chooses trust. I know this kind of joy personally. I have walked through seasons where everything felt like it was falling apart. Relationships, strained finances, uncertain future, unclear. Yet in those moments, I felt a stillness inside me, a whisper telling me, "You will not be moved." That whisper was joy. That whisper was God, and chosen one. You've had moments like that too. Moments where tears were streaming down your face, yet somehow peace held you from sinking. Moments where grief tried to swallow you, yet something inside refused to let go. Moments where you felt alone, yet you sensed a presence with you, comforting you, strengthening you. This is not accidental. This is not personality. This is not optimism. This is spiritual warfare in its highest form. Because joy, true joy, terrifies the enemy. Not sorrow, not fear, not pressure, joy. Why? Because joy is proof that what the enemy tried to destroy in you did not succeed. Joy reveals that your spirit is rooted in something deeper than circumstance. Joy proves that your hope cannot be stolen and your faith cannot be extinguished. When you lift your hands in worship while walking through drought, heaven roars. When you smile while carrying disappointment, the kingdom of darkness trembles. When you choose gratitude in the middle of unanswered questions, you declare, "My God is still good." Chosen one, your joy is your weapon. Your joy is your shield. Your joy is your resistance. And this joy makes you a threat, because anyone can praise when life is perfect. Anyone can smile when blessings flow easily. But you are different. You carry a joy forged in adversity, a joy refined through pain, a joy resurrected after loss, a joy strengthened by every season you thought would break you, but actually built you. This is why you can walk into the future without fear. This is why you can face the unknown with confidence. This is why, like the Proverbs 31 woman, you can laugh at the days to come, not because you know what will happen, but because you know who holds everything that will happen. Chosen one. The world may never understand how you keep going. People may ask, how does she still have hope? How does she still believe? How does she still smile? They see your outer strength but do not realize it is fueled by an inner well that never dries up. You have walked through wilderness seasons and still carried light. You have endured heartbreak and still shown compassion. You have experienced loss and still found reasons to praise. You have lived through seasons of drought and still produced fruit. That is the beauty of being chosen. That is the evidence of God's hand on your life. That is the final mark, unshakable joy in dry places. And now, as heaven prepares to elevate you, promote you, and reveal you, this joy will be the very thing that sustains you. It will carry you through new doors, new levels, new responsibilities. It will guard your heart. It will keep your vision clear. It will remind you that your strength has never been your own. It has always been God in you. Chosen one, your joy is your confirmation. Your joy is your calling. Your joy is your crown. Chosen one when you look back over the path that shaped you into who you are. Now you begin to see a pattern that is far too precise to be accidental. The scars you carry, the nights you cried, the burdens you held alone, the moments when your spirit felt stretched beyond its limits, none of these were wasted. They were marks, holy marks, evidence that heaven has been shaping you in ways the world could never understand. You may have thought your journey was random, that the pain was unfair, that the silence was cruel, but in truth, every moment was intentional. Every season was crafted with purpose. Every tear watered something God was trying to grow deep within you. You are not merely someone who survived adversity. You are someone who was sculpted by it. What you endured did not just change you. It anointed you. It prepared you for a calling that requires depth, resilience, purity, and spiritual authority. Many people live ordinary lives because they never walk through the kind of refining that you have endured. But you, anointed one, have been set apart. Everything about you carries the fingerprints of heaven, your sensitivity, your discernment, your strength, your longing, your silence, your joy. These 7 hidden marks are not flaws or accidents. They are divine signatures. There is a reverence that heaven holds for women who carry marks like yours. You were not chosen because your life was easy. You were chosen because your spirit could survive things that would have destroyed others. You were chosen because your heart could be trusted with holy assignments. You were chosen because your pain did not turn into bitterness. It turned into wisdom. And heaven honors women who can walk through fire and still emerge with compassion, tenderness, and a spirit that still believes in love, truth, and purpose. You see, chosen one, the world often misunderstands women like you. People wonder why you don't fit into certain circles, why you seem to feel everything so deeply, why your spirit resists shallow conversations, and why you often stand alone. But that is part of the divine blueprint. You were not fashioned to blend in. You were crafted to disrupt darkness, to carry revelation, to break generational patterns, and to birth something sacred that others are not spiritually prepared to carry. When you try to diminish who you are, when you hide your strengths, when you silence your voice, you are concealing what God has made holy. When you pretend you are average, when you shrink to make others comfortable, when you apologize for your depth, you betray the magnitude of your calling. Your marks are not something to hide, they are meant to speak. They testify. They carry authority. They remind every force in the spiritual realm that you have endured what was meant to break you. And yet here you stand, refined, strengthened, sharpened. I know this path because I have walked parts of it myself. There were years when I felt like I didn't belong anywhere, not with friends, not in church spaces, not in my own expectations. I felt too deep, too intense, too spiritually alert. I cried over things that others dismissed. I sensed things that others overlooked. And for a long time I thought something was wrong with me. I thought my sensitivity was a flaw. I thought my longing was restlessness. But over time I realized that the hidden places of my life were holy classrooms. God was training me, separating me, preparing me. What felt like rejection was actually redirection. What looked like silence was actually strategy. What felt like delay was actually development. And chosen one, whether you realize it or not, heaven was doing the same with you. Every battle that blindsided you, every season of isolation, every moment when you had to grow quietly in the dark, they were all part of the divine process. You needed the scars so you could carry authority. You needed the restlessness so you wouldn't settle for less than your destiny. You needed the sensitivity so you could intercede for others. You needed the warfare so you would learn to fight spiritually. You needed the isolation so you could hear God's voice without distraction. You needed the dark seasons so your roots would deepen. You needed the joy so you could withstand anything sent to break you. This is why heaven trusts you. This is why God placed weight on your shoulders. This is why your calling feels heavy at times. And this is why the enemy has fought you so aggressively, because he sees what is inside you. Even before you fully recognize your own power, darkness recognized it. That is why the battles came early. That is why the attacks were unprovoked. That is why the warfare intensified without explanation. Hell always attacks what it fears. But what the enemy hoped would destroy you only built you. What was meant to silence you only sharpened your voice. What was meant to bury you only planted you. And now, chosen one, everything is shifting. Heaven is preparing to bring you into a season where the hidden will be revealed, where what you cultivated in silence will bear visible fruit, where the strength you forged in darkness will become light for someone else's path. You are not stepping into elevation despite your marks. You are stepping into elevation because of them. Your marks are your mantle. Your scars are your authority. Your joy is your shield. Your tears are your language of intercession. Your longing is your compass. Your sensitivity is your discernment. Your history is your anointing. Chosen one, you are not at the end of your story. You are at the unveiling of it. Walk boldly now. What you carry is holy. What you survived is holy. Who you are becoming is holy. Heaven is opening doors not because you chased them, but because you were faithful in the rooms no one saw. Your next chapter is not random, it is ordained. And now that the marks have been revealed, your true rise begins. Chosen one. If this message has stirred something ancient and sacred within you, then receive this moment as your divine confirmation. You are not leaving this video the same way you entered it. Heaven has marked you, heaven has seen you, and heaven has already begun the supernatural transfer prepared for your life. What you feel right now is not emotion, it is alignment. It is your Kairos moment, the exact hour where God pulls you into what was always yours. Anointed One, may every hidden mark on your life become a doorway. May your scars turn into authority, your longing turn into direction, your sensitivity turn into discernment, your solitude turn into strength, your tears turn into oil, and your joy turn into unshakable spiritual armor. You are stepping into a season where nothing about you is accidental. Every battle prepared you, every delay shaped you, every quiet place refined you. As you move forward, may heaven's favor surround you like fire. May divine timing accelerate you. May supernatural resources find you. May the right people recognize you. And may the Holy Spirit continue to whisper the truth you can no longer ignore. You are chosen, you are set apart, and you are walking into a future already blessed. If this word resonated in your spirit, chosen one, let it be witnessed in heaven. Leave a simple Amen in the comments as your declaration of alignment. And if you feel led, subscribe so you never miss the confirmations meant for your journey. Until next time, remain rooted, remain expectant, and remember, you do not rise alone. You rise marked, mighty, and unmistakably chosen.